What's good, everybody? Inada here, back with another Shinobi Striker video. You guys have been asking, and when I say you guys have been asking, I mean you guys have really been asking. I even had some of you ask me about Shinobi Tactics over on Zeno Martinez, BV Nez, and Holy Materia streams multiple times. It got to the point where some of you joined my Discord just to make sure I get a Shinobi Tactics out. You know who you are. I won't say no names. But heal types, today is your day because the wait is over. So if you're a heal type looking to harness the true power of the Rinnegan, destroy ribcage users, catch your enemies by surprise, or just trying to become that much closer to Madara Uchiha's level, then this is definitely the video for you. However, if you don't fit into any of those categories, stick around until the end of the video because I might just say something that you didn't already know about. Today's Shinobi Tactics question is, did 6 past Madara's DLC make you commit to playing as a heal type? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. And with that said, let's jump into today's episode of Inada's Shinobi Tactics. Limbo Border Jail is a heal type technique that you learn from Madara Uchiha's 6 paths at training rank 3. It has a 22-second cooldown duration. Limbo Border Jail's description reads, clones appear from Limbo, the unseen world, to attack and restrain nearby opponents. Clones disappear after a certain amount of time. Additional input will cause clones to rush towards the user. As usual, we're going to jump into the tactics that most of you can figure out from your first time using the move, and then go from there. Once you use Limbo Border Jail, 4 clones appear on the battlefield at your location. Just like the source material, these 4 clones are completely visible to you. Unlike the source material, the clones are also visible to your teammates, but barely visible to the enemy team. The invisibility effect of the clones is just like the invisibility that you get from Chikushoto or the Moonlit Pill. Also, when using this technique, your character's hair and skin color turns pale white, and they'll have 9 truth-seeking orbs floating behind their back for as long as the technique is active. This might sound like something that's just a cool aesthetic, but if you're fighting against someone who is using their created character, and you notice the truth-seeking orbs behind them while they're running around, you might want to watch out because their Limbo clones probably aren't far away. Something important to take note of with this jutsu is that the activation time is very easily interrupted. So when you use this jutsu, make sure that you have enough room between you and your opponents where they can't stop you from summoning your Limbo clones. This technique works while you're on the ground or while you're in midair, meaning it's a technique that can be used in a wide variety of situations. In both cases, whether on the ground or in the air, when the clones are summoned, they'll stay in the spot they're summoned for 10 seconds. But with the updates that have come to Shinobi Striker, you don't really have to keep a mental clock of how long techniques last anymore, unless you're fighting against it and want to know how long you have to wait before you can make your move. The reason I say this is because techniques like this now have activation timers on them so that you know how long you have to use a technique before it enters its cooldown phase. When your Limbo clones are on the battlefield, as soon as an enemy approaches the clones will attack that enemy as a group and finish their attack by launching the opponent into the air, which actually deals a decent amount of damage. One of the best things about Limbo Border Jail is all of the things that it does when an enemy actually gets attacked by the clones. It may not look it, but when an enemy gets attacked by the clones, there's so many things going on at the same time that definitely makes Limbo Border Jail a very useful technique. For starters, when the clones jump on your enemy, all of the attacks that are happening before the enemy is launched into the air actually works as an area attack of sorts. The clones don't stand still and attack an enemy. They're rushing through the enemy multiple times in a sort of hit and run fighting style, and since there are multiple clones, after each clone attacks and moves, another clone is already rushing at the enemy and doing the same thing, allowing them all to attack one after the other very fast. Because they're dashing through the enemy and not just standing still, anyone close to the person they're attacking also gets caught up in the attack, allowing you to damage multiple enemies at the same time. Tired of Susanoo armor ruining your day? Well, look no further because Limbo Border Jail easily deactivates the Susanoo armor of defense types. You're probably wondering why. Well, Limbo Border Jail can't be blocked. which makes any ribcage abuser instantly hate you for taking away their protection. Because of this, you can also just activate your Limbo clones next to anyone who's standing on a base or flag who you can't move with your basic attacks. I know, healers have a heavy attack that instantly breaks guards, but when fighting against more experienced players, it's not hard for them to dodge your heavy attack at all, which makes Limbo a good substitution. Speaking of substitution, that is yet another thing that makes Limbo Border Gel such a good move. When the clones start attacking someone, the person who's being attacked can't use their substitution to get out of it, which means they'll have to take the full damage of your Limbo. Another thing that's a plus on this jutsu is that when the Limbo clones are attacking enemies that don't have super armor, those enemies can't move and are stuck in that position for a little while. Maybe 2 seconds. The 2 seconds that Limbo Border Gel keeps your opponent stuck in that position makes it where almost any technique you have can be comboed into it, which will allow you to finish off your opponents with ease. As the description says, additional input will cause clones to rush towards the user. Couple this with the fact that this jutsu can go through solid objects and you got yourself another element of surprise. However, the clones have a very limited range. They only go a few feet forward and then disappear. So don't think that they're trying to run exactly to your location. Moving on, when you're standing in the middle of the clones, they won't dash in your direction. Instead, they'll dash in the direction you're facing, allowing you to easily aim your Limbo. Limbo Border Gel is one of those techniques that's always being promoted as an offensive jutsu. Well, with this last Shinobi tactic, you can also say with confidence that Limbo should be promoted as an offensive and defensive jutsu. After activating Limbo and your clones are standing around you, they create an invisible barrier that makes it so that projectile techniques and weapons can't make it through. It's so good that it's actually a good counter to range types who stand in one spot and try to spam you with kunai the entire time. When it comes to stuff that deals explosive damage, you can still be hit by the explosion, but the initial attack won't be able to reach you unless it has a huge hitbox like Majestic Destroyer Flame. You should still try to dodge those. While I think it's a pretty good barrier to use, you also have to keep in mind that it doesn't guard attacks that come from above. So if an enemy jumps over you, you'll still want to protect yourself. Couple this Shinobi tactic with the one that sends your clones out to attack, and you can turn Limbo Border Gel into a counterattack. When an enemy fires a projectile technique at you, send your clones forward and they'll dash ahead, effectively creating a defensive wall for you that'll attack the enemy if they get within range. And that's all for today's Shinobi Tactics video. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas on how to use Limbo Border Gel in your future battles. Let me know down in the comments if you learned anything new or if you think I missed anything that you feel is important. While you're at it, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're interested, you can also check out the videos on your screen right now to hold you over until my next video. Thanks for watching. My name is Inada, and we out here making major moves.